Hey scrappy people, it's Traci Reed here today, coming at you with another DIY Your Scraps video. And today I'm going to be using the scraps from my Lil Dude collection with simple stories. I was feeling like I wanted to use more of this collection, but have you ever had that feeling where you feel daunted by having this entire beautiful collection kit just sitting in your stash and you want to use it, but you're just feeling like you don't know where to start? That's where I was. So I have some papers that I had already cut into with for using with a 12 by 12 layout that I had already finished. So I wanted to use just the papers I had already cut into, plus I had these journaling cards that I wanted to use as well. So with the Simple Stories collections, we often design journaling cards that I personally, are a style that I personally wouldn't use in my scrapbooking, but they're still so adorable. Like this really cute journaling card sitting right here on top of the cute little puppy that I drew. I love him and I want to use him, but I'm never going to dedicate an entire journaling card just to this puppy. So I wanted to make the designs in this collection work for me in a way that I would actually use in scrapbooking. So that's what I'm going to do with this collection. I'm going to create a few of these really cute circular, they're almost like awards banners. And then I'm going to create a bunch of embellishment clusters as well. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut out the designs from the journaling cards that I want to use but wouldn't use as journaling cards. And I of course won't do that to every journaling card that fits into this category, but I am going to cut apart a bunch of journaling cards. And I'm trying to save the scraps here as well so that I can use them as layering pieces in my work. So I am being very careful as I cut apart this card specifically so that I have more papers to work with in my layering. So I cut out the phrase on this card and I'm going to instead adhere it to this little layered label sort of looking thing. And I'm backing just a couple of words with that red pattern that it was on originally. And I'm going to add this little half circle star right here underneath. And now I've created a really cute embellishment cluster instead of a 4x4 card that I probably wouldn't use. So I'm going to adhere these together that I've already cut out, and I just used a little template that I had made previously to create a sort of ticket shape there for those two. And I cut out this phrase from this 4x6 card. I think it was 4x6, it might have been a 4x4 card. And I created a little embellishment cluster instead of a 4x6 card, so I can use the rest of this 4x6 card as paper for some of these embellishment clusters. And that's just kind of the direction I'm going, and trying to create things that will make it look like I put a lot of effort into my scrapbook page, that whatever scrapbook page I'll end up on, but I actually did the work beforehand and made my scrapbooking easier. Sometimes it's easier for me to just create embellishment clusters and not really think about a layout, and I was really going through that when I created this video, and I did these at the same time I created my last two DIY Your Scraps video, so I was just really in an embellishment cluster mood that day. And now I have all these cute embellishment clusters that I can use on future pages. So I'm creating another one of these awards, and my goal with this video was not only to use the paper scraps, but also I am sticking with just what you will find in the main packaged kit that you can pick up in a scrapbook store. So it has all the papers and journaling cards, but it also has a sheet of 12 by 12 stickers. So I'm sticking to just that collection kit for this video, even though I do have, I have the chipboard, I have the puffy stickers, I have the 4x6 stickers, and the die cuts, of course, but I wanted to just stick to what most people will have on hand, which is just the collection kit. So I just cut that sweet kid out of the 4x4 card that it was on and created a little label instead of a 4x4 card. Just a little embellishment cluster on the side there. And I cut out all of the labels on that vertical 4x6 card. I don't use vertical 4x6s in my scrapbooking, so I thought that those little labels would be perfect for to be actual labels. So I'm going to create embellishment clusters out of those labels, and I'm not even going to keep most of them whole. They're pretty big for my scrapbooking style, so I'm going to cut most of them in half and use them in different ways. You can see I'm just kind of going through with what I have and creating with what's in front of me. I'm not using any special punches. I have circle punches. Those are pretty basic though. I would suggest that everybody has a set of circle punches. And then I have a corner rounder, and that's about it. Everything else is just coming straight from the shapes created in the collection itself. I cut out that It's a Boy's World from the card it was on. Now I'm cutting out some of these circles on this card specifically, and the circles are a little bit smaller than I think it was a 1.5 inch punch I was using. So I do keep a white border on some of them, and then some of them I just cut out directly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Cutting circles by hand is super hard, so you just have to give yourself a little bit of grace when you're cutting circles out by hand. Just punching some more circles from these papers that I have. Trimming down this 2x2. 2x2 is also a size that I don't use a lot in my project life. In fact, I don't ever use 2x2s. I'm strictly a vertical 3x4, horizontal 4x6 kind of girl. So I love repurposing these sizes in a way that I will actually use, because they're such cute little designs that it's perfect to use them. But if you think of them only as the size that they came in, then you can limit yourself to what you can do with them. So I'm just trying to break out of that box a little bit here. I hand cut out this dude, and then I cut out the blue in the middle of the U, and that bugged me, so I just stuck it right back in there. Adding in a little notched banner to the side. Then of course, if one is good, two is better. I do want to try in the future to use my silhouette, or get some more punches to have some more different shapes, but the other side of me doesn't want to make it too complicated for myself, because if I start trying to pre-planned shapes and my silhouette and all of that, I'm just not even going to scrapbook. It's too complicated. So I think I'm going to have to go with some punches. But man, am I the only one that thinks that punches are just so overly expensive for what they are? Every time I go down the punch aisle in the scrapbook store, I'm just like, I'm not spending $20 on that. Maybe I'm just cheap. Maybe that's what it is. But I do need to start investing in some more tools that will give me some different shapes, I think. So I created this layered banner here, just to give that journaling strip a little bit of extra oomph. I'm going to add some of these word strips here. Trying to figure out which ones I want to use and where they're going to go. I'm going to cut out this talk bubble on this 2x2 card. But then I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So I decided to move on to something else for the moment. And I'm going to actually create photo corners out of this. I had this 4x4 card with a big circle cut out of the middle, and so I was like, what do I do with this scrap? So I just cut the corners off, and I'm going to make little layered photo corners. A set of 4, of course, for 4 corners of a photo. And I'm going to leave these, I mean, obviously I'm layering them, but I'm going to leave them blank beyond that, and I'll just, when I go to scrapbook with them, I will add to them if I want to. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm leaving myself a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to creating these embellishment clusters, and so that they're more usable and they don't pigeonhole me into something that I'm never going to use. So this It's a Boy's World with the PlayStation remote was just a given because my kids are always on the PlayStation, so that's perfect. Figuring out what to do with these scraps. I had another one of these pennants, so I'm making sure that I use it. Creating little layered pieces. I want to make sure I use up all of these journaling labels that I cut apart, so I'm creating a lot of layered labels. And I'm trying to, I don't on all of them, but I try and keep them in sort of a color scheme so that they'll be easier to use down the line. Like I'm keeping green and blue together for some of these. I'm not doing it for all of them, for sure. But for some of them, especially the more generic things like journaling labels, I am trying to make sure that they're in a color scheme that will make it easy to use down the line. Cutting out this thumbs up so that I can add it to the You Rock. There's another 2x2 card. And of course, adding a little journaling label to it so I can say why whoever this gets used on rocks. Notched it into a banner. And added a little half circle to the edge. Just having some fun, basically. Being creative without the pressure of creating for a specific purpose, a specific layout. I liked this bear, and of course there's lots of roaring references, so I'm going to add this talk bubble with that says "Hear Me Roar" to this. Bears roar, right? That works, right? Cute. I'm really happy with the way that this set of embellishments turned out. I really enjoy this process, and I'm definitely going to be doing more. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of these videos, or if you want specific types of embellishments in these videos. I'd love to hear from you, and you can tell me what you want to see. But if you don't like these videos, let me know that too, and let me know why. Maybe this isn't the kind of scrapbooking that you do. Maybe you find making embellishment clusters without a subject in mind to be daunting or weird. I don't know. It's just a great way to get out some creativity, I think. And if you've watched if you've been watching for any amount of time, you'll know that when I create these things in these videos, I actually do use them down the line. I love to use them in my Project Life. I create a lot of Project Life cards this way, and it makes it so much easier down the line when I can just pull a pre-made card from my stash, and it makes my Project Life look more cohesive and well designed, but I don't have to do the work in the moment because Project Life takes up a lot of time already. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. I post quite often, and you will always be inspired over there. I am at Traci M. Reed. Alright, thank you!